Danganronpa.
Let's go. Welcome to OverlordCringus, and we are back to Danganronpa IF. And only if... Look, I'm kind of on a completely shitty buzz, but again, as usual, you try studying as much times I study and you tell me you'll be pissed at least a little bit. Let's begin. And after our previous rage now, Monokuma awakes. Monokuma's anger didn't seem any different from his usual anger towards the students, but Mukuro could instinctively sense another emotion mixed with it. Right now, she could feel that Junko was feeling turned on, perhaps? Cause you know that at this point, older sister betrays you. You expect it and then she does it. Despair, then Junko feels despair and then flow it and gets into the controls and then Monokuma starts wigging out. Okay, so since Monokuma's not wigging out, she's not turned on. Alright. Just I had to draw the line. Just had to draw the line there. Hopeless disappointment. So she is feeling despair. It's normal for someone who's disappointed to lose hope, but for the ultimate despair, disappointment means something else entirely. Of course it does, of course. Should I fetch the mop? Your narrator, should I get the mop, man? To them, disappointment was tantamount to losing despair itself. Mukuro is a member of the ultimate despair. As at the sister's behest, Mukuro had soiled her hands and herself many times in order to fill the world with despair. Despite her pride towards being a member of the ultimate despair, there was clear difference between Mukuro and her sister. Junko-and-Mukuro was despair incarnate. She was born in despair, letting it infect other people's hope so it could rot them from the inside out, twisting them into their own image. For Junko, feeling hope was its own despair. Yeah, I had this conversation before. What game was it? But I might have been TK ever where I explained this. Hope brings despair, despair brings despair. To not have despair brings despair. So this is the constant state of euphoria. And no, I do not mean the hentai visual novel. Creating despair in others created despair in herself, which caused her to feel both intense pain and intense bliss. Yeah, I think I should be go getting that mop. Like, I actually want to go get the mop. Because usually, my randomness works by, you think it, you do it. This is why I think I Havoc brought out a pan during the video. Junko had walked the fracture created from the conflict between pleasure and penance all her life. She would love a game called Blasphemous. She would love, okay. So wait, so you telling me she's a sadomasochist? Eventually the fracture would widen until it swallowed the world and tore it in half. That's the sado part. That's the S part. But Mukuro on the other hand had neither her hope nor despair for the world. At least not when she was a member of Fenrir. Ever since she was a child, Mukuro believed she was meant to spread despair because of her sister. She didn't harbor any ill will toward the world. She simply accepted she was meant to spread despair and chose to walk the same path as her sister. The doubt she felt was only recent development. When Junko told about the plan, when she watched the world burn at the hands of terrorists wearing Monokuma masks, she never wavered once. However, as soon as she heard about the sister's plan to make their classmates kill each other, Mukuro included, a strange feeling began to stir within her. Yeah, it's one of those things whereby, you know that train track, model, compass, decision-making thing, right? Say you know the one person there. Would you let those 5 unknown people die? Hell yeah, I would. So do not lay on the train tracks around me, okay? Because if my friend even touches the other side, your nigga's dead. I got too into that. What started as a seed of doubt soon grew into a thorny vine ensnaring Mokuro's feet. As soon as she disguised herself as Junko and finished meeting other students, as soon as she had confirmed that everyone's memories had been completely taken away, that vine began tightening around Mukuro's heart. Just be happy I don't ride it on the train, alright? I don't take the train. I never rode a train before. It's an experience I must still experience. Besides, trains here are terrible. Tracer is like trying to put a clown car within a clown car and expecting everybody to have a happy experience. It's not okay. Clown cars are ultimate despair. Why didn't you just put all the students into a clown car and eventually they would have killed each other? Perfect plan of annihilation. They're gone. Junko's the only one who knows about me now. That's it. That's no problem. It's just like old times. Things will never go back to how they used to be. That's fine. This should be fine. She had relinquished the past 2 years she had spent with her friends so she could betray them and deliver death and despair unto them. Though her heart ached, Mukuro was beyond feeling guilt or remorse for her actions. But the question, why does my heart ache like this, still remained unanswered. Perhaps that's why she spent so much time talking to Makoto when he was in the nurse's office. When Makoto gave her that one particular answer, something changed inside her. A trigger of happy havoc, perhaps. Any turn, I promise if I do decide to kill you, someone it won't be you. The words Mukuro blurted out to Makoto weren't improvised to further her role as Junko. It was an honest sentiment from the bottom of her heart. She was even planning to ask Junko herself if Makoto could somehow be spared from her plan. Over the past 2 years, Mukuro's interest had slowly been shifting away from her sister and towards the world itself. By extension, her interests also included Makoto, the first person to ever smile at her and make her feel connected to the world. It was like a sapling of pure honesty that had taken root in Mukuro's heart. But by the time she realized that the tree had already rotted, as Mukuro struggled to understand the situation, Monokuma let out a sigh and said,
I wonder which part of you is a wolf anyway? You're just a dog that blindly follows Junko's orders. What does the tattoo on your head even mean? Are you just a bitch who pledged loyalty to her owner?
Bitch!
I bet Toko would say that, I'm positive.
No, I don't think so. I think Toko would be too scared to say it to her, but she'd think it hard enough. No one would hear it, but close. Monokuma continued to talk as Mukuro stood in confusion.
I was obviously lying when I said Makoto's blood is blood type is B.
What? You lied, Junko? Yeah, like that wasn't fucking obvious. Mukuro, baby, what are you doing? Come on!
A normal person would have been suspicious. I never thought you'd actually believe me just now. I must have misplaced my eyes because I totally didn't know I'd see that coming. Not even with my ability to predict the future. How shocking. Jeez, I'm about to start crying my eyes out like some sort of robot cat. Seriously.
It's going to be okay, Junko, said Mukuro. I know our plan is kind of fall apart, but I'm still on your side. Are you feeling alright? Because I'll do anything. Snap. No! That's how the scene went, right? That's how the scene went. A harsh sound came from Monokuma's mouth.
That sound was my circuits overloading. It's been so long since I felt this angry. Meet me on the roof of the school. I'll smash out all your baby teeth.
Monokuma started shadowboxing in front of Mukuro, who remained frozen in place, clutching a blood pack in her hand. Wait. Isn't O universal donor? Don't they have blood type of O there? Couldn't I just shove O into the dude and done? She still looked confused, and Monokuma threw up his arms in frustration.
Ha! You're so disappointing, I can't even predict it anymore. Ah!
A threatening roar burst from Monokuma's mouth as he leapt at Mukuro with sharp claws extended. Nani? Oh, at that moment, her face became completely emotionless. It was not a conscious action. The defensive instincts she honed during a time with Fenrir temporarily suppressed her emotions as she countered Monokuma's attack. Mukuro grabbed a nearby ivy stand and used it to parry Monokuma's claws. However, Monokuma's claws seemed to be made with a special alloy and easily sliced the bar in half diagonally. But instead of following up his attack, Monokuma continued talking to Mukuro.
I guess you're not much of a disappointment when it comes to fighting. In fact, if you were so pathetic that you died from that single attack, that would have been interesting in its own way. Right now, you're just incompetent at everything, including dying.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help blocking your attack. But there's no way I can fight you, Junko. After all, I'm all you have. I'm the only one who understands you at all. Mukuro's words were riddled with endless dismay. The contrast between her usual stoic self and the way she was acting now was so stark, people might assume she had multiple personalities. Huh. Maybe she does have some latitudes to talk. However, Monokuma just quietly stared at her. It was perfectly still, as if all his function had powered down completely. Mukuro continued to share her feelings. There's no way I can just leave you alone. And then Monokuma broke his silence, but at the moment, a monitor in the nurse's office lit up, displaying a girl's face, Junko Enoshima. At the same time, a voice completely unlike Monokuma's began to play from the speakers. Hey, Mukuro? Junko? It had been several days since Mukuro had heard her sister's voice. Though her face remained emotionless, excitement sparkled in her eyes. Say you know the one person there. Would you let those 5 unknown people die? Yeah, I would. So do not lay on the train tracks around me, okay? Because if my friend even touches the other side, you're all just dead.